What's up everybody, let's talk Nexus 6P. Alright, so this is a first impressions video, not a full review. However, I waited a full week before I did this first impressions video because I wanted to get a good experience with the device before saying anything, so let's get right into it. The Nexus 6P is a simply gorgeous device. Starting at $499 inside the US, it is a great deal. The $499 will get you a good device that is top of the line specs. The unboxing itself is pretty uninteresting, it's just standard stuff with a double-sided USB-C cable for charging, which is pretty strange. But it also comes with the standard USB-A to USB-C cable that is ridiculously short. Oh well, let's get into the device itself. The Nexus 6P is a large device. It is about 160mm tall and 78mm wide. It's not the thinnest phone, however at 7.3mm, it is certainly not very thick and it is a lot thinner than my Nexus 6. The device compared to the Nexus 6 is less wide and it's about the same height. Now all this houses a 5.7 Quad HD AMOLED display that's 1440 by 2560, and this comes out to about roughly 518 ppi. This is all covered by Gorilla Glass 4. Inside is a Snapdragon 810 with an Adreno 430 GPU and 3GB of RAM. My personal device has a 64GB of storage, but this will vary depending on what edition you buy. These are all just numbers, so let's get those out of the way and let's talk about what this all means. So let's start with the display. The AMOLED display is, according to Google, the latest generation AMOLED offered by Samsung. Now this has caused a lot of controversy online because people say it's not as bright as the Note 5 display, therefore it might not be the newest and latest AMOLED display available from Samsung. Well, I can't tell if it is or if it's not. However, I can tell that this is a nice display. It's one of the nicest I've ever owned. It's simply stunning. It's plenty bright outdoors and the color accuracy is incredible, especially if you enable the sRGB mode in the developer settings. The Nexus 6 had a visible yellow tint to every white. However, with the 6P, this is no longer an issue at all. It's very easy on the eyes, it's incredible, and the whites look very white. I can now use a white wallpaper without noticing any yellow tint. So next, let's talk about the OS. This runs Marshmallow, which is Android 6.0, and is also what I was running on my Nexus 6. Comparing that to this, it simply runs amazingly smooth. I thought the Nexus 6 already did a great job, however this has taken it up another notch. No hiccups whatsoever, nothing has made the phone visibly slow down, and the concerns of having a Snapdragon 810 heat up are not a big deal at all. I've gotten the device slightly warm, and that's after a pretty large amount of gaming. That's about all the issues I've had, and those are not a big deal at all. I've owned several devices before that did get incredibly hot in the hand, so hot that you didn't even really want to hold them. So I know what that's like, and this isn't a thing in the Nexus 6P, so there you should have no worries. Overall, this version of Android has impressed me a ton. The improvements under the hood are definitely noticeable and have helped clean up a lot of the issues that I had with stock Android before. There are neat things such as a System UI tuner, which have given you options that we didn't have before, so that's very nice. Now let's get back to the hardware. Let's talk about the fingerprint scanner. This is the first device that I have owned that has a fingerprint scanner, however I have used many other devices that have fingerprint scanners before and I have tested them out. And I can honestly say that this is implemented well. It's fast and easy to set up and use. Occasionally I'll have to try twice to unlock, which is slightly pesky, but other than that it's been a solid experience. I'd say it works about 95% of the time. Another hardware aspect that I find important is the speakers. They're loud and crisp. Front-facing speakers are incredible, and these are no exception. They sound the same if not slightly louder than my Nexus 6 and are clear at the high volume. Now let's get to the camera. Nexus cameras are known to be poor. Google has put a lot of focus in fixing that with this iteration of the Nexus series, and I can honestly say that I'm impressed. While this might not be the best front-facing camera out on the market, that would probably be the Note 5, the rear camera does an amazing job with its 12 megapixels and its large pixel size. This means that the low light pictures that you take will be amazing, and the focus is incredibly quick due to the laser autofocus available on the back of the device. Opening the camera app is very quick with a double tap of the power button. I would say you could pull your device out and take a picture in about 5 seconds time span if you're efficient with it, and you will end up with a really good image. I will post some of the images that I have taken in the description below if you guys want to check them out, but simply put, I'd say they're certainly quality images. The front facing camera is also 8 megapixels and it's solid. It's not incredible like the one on the LG V10. You won't get the super wide angle lens that can cover up to basically your whole body or a large group of people, but Google's not claiming any of this. It does a good job and it'll give you clear, crisp results. I haven't had any complaints using it daily for things such as Snapchat, and when I've had to take front-facing pictures on the actual camera app, it's done a good job as well. Now let's talk about the camera UI and the app itself. Google's camera UI is still lacking a lot of options. The whole UI, while improved, isn't the best. The way panorama is handled is very clunky and not seamless at all. I tried taking a panorama picture and the result was okay, but I think the process could be a lot better. For comparison, the iPhone's panorama UI seems to be very intuitive and very easy to handle. Now I'm not saying you have to do it that way, but it'd be nice if it was implemented better. Also, there are no manual controls or options on this camera app. Even though they are supported through third-party apps, the stock camera still leaves a lot to be desired. However, post-processing with the HDR Plus is very well done. Another interesting aspect of this camera is the flash. It has two LEDs on the back, and they both use a natural skin tone color. It has a slight hue to it, so you won't get white light, and when you're taking pictures, this is perfectly fine. However, it's a bit strange when you're using the flashlight in the quick settings. It's no big deal, but it's something I definitely took note of, and it sort of tripped me out at first. Let's move on to the battery life. Simply put, the battery life on this device is pretty good. I can go a full day and get somewhere between 5 and 6.5 hours of screen on time. This is with my use, which includes a lot of Twitter, texting, and Snapchat, about 1 hour of gaming, and about 1 hour of YouTube a day. This is all done at around 35% brightness. Occasionally I'll crank it up to full brightness for when I'm walking outdoors, but this is what I've come to expect out of a daily driver. It's impressive and it certainly gets me through the day. Now clearly results may vary as everybody uses the device differently, but this device gives me no battery problem. It also helps that charging is very fast with the stock charger. Putting it on the charger for 15 minutes before heading out will give your battery a giant boost. Now, there's one more thing about this device that I would like to really put emphasis on. Because honestly, I was expecting the good battery life as it has a big 3450 mAh battery, and it also has the improvements from Android Marshmallow such as Doze and others. The display quality definitely caught me a little by surprise. It's quite good, but it didn't really stand out that much. However, something that left me very impressed is the device's design. Huawei certainly made a very premium feeling device. The chamfered edges look amazing and the build feels very solid. Overall, holding this phone in your hand is quite the pleasure. It feels better than any other device I've used, and I've used a lot of devices such as the iPhones and the HTC One series, which also have great build quality. However, even though those phones have very good build quality, to me personally they just do not feel as nice as the Nexus 6P. I'll let you guys know if this is something that will wear off or if this is a feeling that I continue to have during the full review. But for now, I feel like everybody should go and pick up a 6P and hold it in the hand just to feel how incredible and solid it feels. I would suggest you guys go try that if you can find one at a store near you. Anyways, until the next time guys, follow us on social media and don't forget to like and subscribe. And stay fresh!